Level 1, the B course student. Your vision tunnels to a pinpoint of gray, and the instructor's voice in your headset asks if you're still conscious. You grunt something that sounds like, yes. The centrifuge is still spinning. You're pulling 7.5 Gs, and your G-suit is squeezing your legs so hard, you think your femurs might snap. Your face feels like it's melting off your skull. This is week 4 of the F-15E B course at Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, North Carolina. You were told in recruitment that flying fighters would make you feel like a god. Nobody mentioned the part where a machine spins you until you nearly black out, just to prove your body can handle not dying. The average person passes out at 4 Gs. The Strike Eagle can pull 9. Your internal organs weigh 9 times their normal weight at max G. Your heart has to pump blood uphill against gravity, trying to drag it into your boots. If you don't tense every muscle in your legs and core, you go to sleep. And if you go to sleep at 500 knots and 200 feet above the ground, you don't wake up, so you practice. You sit in a spinning metal death barrel, and you grunt and squeeze until the instructor says you can stop. You pass the centrifuge. Then you fail your first night sortie because you can't read the HUDs while pulling 6 Gs in a turn. The numbers blur. Your neck muscles aren't strong enough to hold your helmet steady under G-load. You go back to your dorm room and do neck bridges on the floor like a wrestler. You look insane. You don't care. 3 guys in your class wash out before month 6. One of them was a T-38 distinguished grad. Didn't matter, he couldn't handle the workload of flying a 40,000-pound fighter with one hand while managing weapon systems with the other. You don't talk about it. You just show up the next day, and there's an empty seat in the briefing room. Level 2, the Wizzo. You're in the back seat now. The pilot gets to look outside. You get 4 green radar screens and a headache that never fully goes away. This is Bagram Airfield, Afghanistan, 2011. It's 110 degrees on the ramp, and the dust gets into everything. Your job is to find targets the size of a pickup truck from 20,000 feet while the aircraft is maneuvering. The pilot's job is to not fly into a mountain. It's a partnership, technically. You spend 6 hours a day staring at radar returns that all look like static. Your eyes start to hurt by hour 3. By hour 5, you're seeing shapes that aren't there. But you can't look away because the guy on the ground is calling for close air support. And if you miss the target, people die. So you stare at the screens. You develop a trick where you blink one eye at a time, so you never fully lose focus. It makes you look twitchy. The flight surgeon asks if you're okay. You say, "Yes, sir. All good, sir." He doesn't believe you, but he doesn't ground you either. You realize he's just filling out a form. He doesn't actually care if you're falling apart. He cares if you're still mission capable. You are. So you keep flying. One night over Kandahar, you get the lock. Taliban truck convoy, 3 vehicles, moving fast on a dirt road. You call it out. The pilot pickles off a GBU-38. You watch the infrared feed as the bomb tracks. It hits the lead vehicle dead center. Secondary explosion. The other trucks scatter. The JTAC on the ground calls, "Good hits, good hits." You don't feel anything. You log it. You go back to staring at screens. Level 3, the Wingman. You're a pilot now, fully qualified. You thought this would feel like freedom. It doesn't. You're the Wingman, which means you fly 3,000 feet behind your flight lead and do exactly what he does. He turns, you turn. He climbs, you climb. He calls terminate. You get off the radios and shut up. This is Nellis Air Force Base, Nevada, during Red Flag. It's the biggest combat training exercise in the world. 30 jets in the air at once, all trying to kill each other with simulated weapons. Your flight lead is a 2,000-hour pilot named Stoner, who flies like he's angry at physics. You struggle to keep up. He'll drop into a canyon at 480 knots, 100 feet off the deck, then snap into a 7G climb to avoid simulated SAM fire. You follow. Your G-suit inflates. Your vision grays at the edges. You keep him in sight. If you lose sight, you lose the fight. That's what they tell you. What they don't tell you is that the flight lead doesn't care if you're struggling. His job is to complete the mission. Your job is to not screw it up. You don't. You fly 47 red flag sorties without a single mistake. Nobody says good job. They just stop watching you as closely. That's when you realize the reward for doing your job perfectly is that people forget you exist. Level 4, the flight lead. You pin on flight lead and they give you the most dangerous mission set in the Air Force. Low-level ingress. The Strike Eagle was designed to fly 200 feet above the ground at 540 knots to stay under enemy radar. You are now responsible for making sure that happens without flying into a mountain. This is the Nevada Test and Training Range, 2016. You're leading a 4-ship through a simulated strike on a hardened target. You're using terrain-following radar, which is a computer that reads the ground ahead of you and tells the jet to climb or dive to maintain 500 feet of clearance. You trust this computer with your life. You have to. At 540 knots, you cover 900 feet per second. If you see a ridge, it's already too late to react. So you let the jet fly itself while you manage the weapons and the radios and the 3 other jets following you. You drop into a canyon at 300 feet. The walls blur past on both sides. Your wingman calls visual. Your number 3 calls tide. Your number 4 doesn't call. You check your display. He's 2,000 feet behind and climbing. He lost sight in the canyon, and instead of saying something, he just climbed out. Now he's silhouetted against the sky, an easy radar target. In a real war, he just died. You don't say anything on the radios. You finish the mission. After you land, you debrief him in private. He says he got disoriented. You tell him disorientation kills people. He nods. You sign his training folder. He flies again the next day. You realize you just watched someone almost break, and you're pretending it's fine because the mission tempo doesn't stop. Level 5, the Mudhen. You have 3,200 flight hours now. You've flown over Iraq, Afghanistan, and Syria. You've dropped live ordnance on actual human beings 47 times. You don't think about that number. You just know it. You're the night ops guy now. The squadron sends you on the missions nobody else wants. The ones where you take off at 0200, fly through weather that would ground civilian aircraft, and put a bomb through a window in a building you can't even see with your naked eye. You're 37 years old. Your back hurts from the ejection seat. Your hearing is going in your left ear from 15 years of helmet speakers. You can't sleep without Ambien anymore. Not because of PTSD, because your body forgot how to shut down without chemical help. You still fly better than pilots half your age. You know every trick. You know how to use the terrain. You know how to read the threat radar. You know when the mission planning is garbage, and you know how to fix it without making the intel officer cry. You are the guy they call when something goes wrong. You're also the guy who trains the new flight leads. You watch them make the same mistakes you made. You correct them. They listen because you have the flight hours and the combat ribbons. What they don't see is that you're not a legend. You're just the guy who survived long enough that quitting would feel like wasting all the years you already gave. One night, you're flying a mission over Syria. The sun rises as you're headed back to base. The light catches the canopy, and for 5 seconds, the world is gold. You think about how beautiful it is. Then you think about how many sunrises you've seen from a cockpit instead of from your own bed. You land. You debrief. You go back to your room. You take the Ambien. You close your eyes. Tomorrow you'll do it again. Not because you love it, because you've done it so many times that stopping would require learning how to be a different person. And you're too tired for that.